Alright, so this is a reaction to something I saw pop up on my YouTube. Gameplay guides regarding Diablo 4 with Wudiju. Wudiju is a content creator that's pretty popular in Diablo 3, kind of like Rax or Antax. But, the European version of Rax, basically. Anyway, let's go ahead and, start this up and see what this is all about, because I'm not even sure.
Hi everyone, my name is Wudiju, I'm a Diablo content creator and I'm here to bring you a guide on Diablo 4's open world and gameplay activities. I already made another video talking about the skill tree, character customization and how to make a build work, and here we want to go more into the details of what you can actually do once you have made your build. First of all, you need to know that Diablo 4 is designed to give you as much choice as possible at every point you go. So when you start off with your first character, you do the prologue in Act 1, you go to Kyovashad, the main city in Fractured Peaks, the first region of the game, and then you are left on your own. And you have lots of different things you can do. In your first playthrough, you generally want to start with the campaign, or at least keep an eye on it on the side while you go explore, because you have to actually complete the campaign at least once on your account to unlock the higher difficulty settings and get into endgame later. So this is something you should focus on, but
So this is something that I've actually talked with my team that we're going to be leveling with, um, about how we want to approach it. That is one valid reason why we should just do the campaign, but it's been brought up that we could probably level faster just repeatedly doing a dungeon over and over. But without having done the campaign, it's going to be required to be done anyways, so I'm kind of leaning more towards the doing the campaign and doing the dungeons on the side, which I think has been advised by the most people that I've talked to about it. Anyway.
outside of that, you can just walk out of town and start exploring the world, start doing dungeons and all these different events that you might find on the way. You can go pretty much anywhere you want in the world right from the start. There's nothing really holding you back. There are maybe some high level zones that you can't really deal with yet, but as you progress and get stronger, you can also unlock more and more parts of the world. Enemies in the game generally scale to your character level. So this means that as you level up, so will the monsters. And if there are some zones that unlock at higher levels, they will also start scaling from that point on. This system gives you a lot of freedom in what you're actually doing and at what time. So when you're starting out, you can go explore different parts of the world, and there's not this one set path that you have to follow. Your experience with the game and the content that you see might be completely different from that of your friends, or even when you make a second character, you can just go a completely different route and see a lot of other parts of the world. You don't need to wander around aimlessly. There's always something to do, some objective to follow, but if you decide to just go out and explore on your own pace, you'll also find a lot of interesting things. Besides the main storyline that you should complete at least once on your account, there's also the renown system that rewards you for completing certain objectives the first time.
The skill point on this is actually really key or important. And then later on it looks like it's locked behind Act 3, but there's a Paragon plus a higher max obols. The Paragon, 4-point Paragon point specifically, that will be significant. I don't know if this is the only 5 or if there's more after it or what, but it's definitely something you kind of want to focus on, because the 4 Paragon points, that's basically 4 skill points in your tree at at levels after level 50. So, I mean, you want that. You can't skip over that.
With powerful bonuses that apply to all of your characters, such as extra skill points, potion slots and even Paragon points that you can spend later on to boost your overall character power. And the best part about this is that these bonuses apply to all of your characters. So when you start a second or third character later down the line, you will already have certain skill points unlocked, you will be more powerful and the progression will be easier. And you can still go and explore a different area of the world that you haven't fully done yet. The map of Sanctuary is split into 5 major regions on launch, which are Fractured Peaks, Skosglen, Dry Steppes, Kyrgyzstan and Havazar. And each of them offers their own renown rewards. So you want to go around the
beta access that we had the smallest zone out of those zones. So each of the other zones are actually bigger than the area that we had to explore in the beta, which that's a good thing in my book.
The entire map and complete various objectives in each of those regions to unlock everything in the end. Some examples of renowned activities include side quests, so as you go around the world, for example in towns or sometimes out in the world, you might find a drop or an NPC that talks to you and gives you an objective. You can complete those and get experience rewards and renown points. And this renown system stacks up these points, and then eventually you reach certain thresholds where you get those rewards in several different steps. Similarly, you can complete dungeons. Aside from the Codex of Power rewards that allow you to imprint legendary aspects on your items from the occultist, they also give you renown, so you want to go around and complete at least various dungeons at least once to get those renown points. And you also get custom extra points for exploration. You can run around the world and get a few points, or you can find those altars of Lilith that, in addition to giving you more renown, also give you a character stat boost. These altars are hidden all around the world of Sanctuary, and it's definitely worth keeping an eye out for them. And last but not least, there are the strongholds.
Yeah, the altars of Lilith, which he said weird was he said altars, but it's altar. Anyway, the altars of Lilith. I think there was I want to say close to 50 of them, but that might be too high of an estimate. I forgot exactly how many there were, but in that small zone there was like 50. So if you're thinking in the other 4 or 5 zones or whatever that are bigger, you probably have what, close to 300 altars of Lilith that you can probably attain somewhere in there.
In every major region in the game, you will find a few of these, and they are some of the most important renown objectives. They give you a lot of points, but in addition to that, they can unlock new waypoints around the world, or new dungeons, new town hubs, and new side quests. So within these strongholds, you have to complete several objectives, fight the boss at the end, and then cleanse the place and transform it into a new hub. So while the renown system is designed to actually give you a lot of freedom in what you complete, because you don't actually have to do all side content to finish it. It's more like you can do a few dungeons here, a few side quests there, explore and look around a little bit, and you're gonna be just fine completing most of the renown objectives pretty early. But those strongholds are quite important, and you definitely want to do them when you can. Especially the extra dungeons and waypoints that unlock from completing strongholds can be very impactful. The world of Sanctuary is massive, and you have to travel around for quite a while in some cases to reach your destination. So the more waypoints you have unlocked, the better, because it reduces your travel time whenever you want to go to another place.
Excuse me. Yeah, the strongholds, they have usually set levels, but you can still enter them and do them at lower levels. So for instance, I got into a level where all the mobs were basically 16, and I think I was 14 or 15, and I was able to complete all of the side stuff, but once I got to the boss, I was unable to complete it. And I think that's where group play is going to be more beneficial, because group play you can res each other before instantly being like having to restart the encounter. If you die on solo, you have to restart the encounter immediately from the start all over again for the boss fights. But if you die in a boss fight um, on a group situation, the group can res you or continue the fight and finish off the boss without you. And that's the benefit of group play. In softcore. In hardcore, you die. So
Personal recommendation is that you complete these renown objectives early on so that you can free up the time later to jump into the endgame activities once you reach the higher levels. Of course, first complete the campaign, this is really important, at least once, but outside of that, whenever you start another character, for example, you want to make sure that you finish these renown objectives. And as I mentioned, they are shared between your characters, so you can go to one zone and complete everything there with one character, and then go to another with your second character. Finally, as you explore the world, you'll also come across local events regularly. These are just some small little events that pop up everywhere in the world. They are indicated by an orange circle on the map, and you can just go there and complete them in like 1 or 2 minutes or so. Usually these events have some small objectives like defending an NPC from enemies, fighting off a wave of monsters, or destroying a structure while enemies come to attack you. In some cases, you may find other players already working on the event, and you can jump straight in and help them out and complete it together. These events are quite valuable. They give you a bunch of loot, there's a chest at the end, and a mastery objective that if you do a good performance, you get even more rewards. So usually this means that you have to defeat enemies very quickly, or you have to keep the NPCs alive, so that there is an incentive to do well. And if you manage to do that, you get a bunch of loot, maybe a good chance for a legendary, and you get obols that you can spend at the Purveyor of Curiosities to gamble for items that also often yield legendaries. To sum it all up again,
that's like the D4's version of Kadala, by the way. It's got a higher drop chance for legendaries, though. In the beta, anyways, it was like maybe a 1 in 3 chance average of getting a legendary. I don't know if that's going to be the case, because they did say the beta had boosted legendary drop chances, so it might be. I think I heard that the legendaries were 3 times more likely to drop in the beta than actual live. So if that's the case, then Kadala might actually have like more like a 1 in 9 chance at a legendary, which is significantly less.
you want to do the campaign at the very least once on your first character, but you have the option to choose which axe you're going for first, and you can also just go and explore and do renown objectives on the way whenever you like. But make sure that you finish it at least somewhat reasonably early so that you unlock the higher endgame difficulties. Then you have the renown system. This gives you rewards for one-time completions of, for example, dungeons, side quests, and especially the strongholds. So make sure you complete those strongholds whenever you find them, because they can unlock more dungeons, more waypoints, more quests along the way, and you want to have them all in the end. The renown system is shared between your characters, so you can go to different areas of the world with different characters, or complete it all on your first character to then boost your alts much more quickly later on. And lastly, always keep an eye out for those random local events that you can find anywhere you go. They are quite rewarding, both in loot and XP. I really hope you enjoyed this guide, and I wish you good luck when you're starting out in Diablo 4. If you're curious in any more of my own content, I do have my own Twitch and YouTube channels with a lot of regular uploads. Stay tuned for more guides here, and I'll see you guys in Sanctuary.
Cool. By the way, it says available 6/6/23. That's wrong. If you pre-purchase, it says 4 days, but it's actually June 1st at 4 p.m. Pacific time. So, just a heads up there.